Do you know how much a bag of peanut butter M&Ms this size costs to get it delivered to the UK? £30. £30! I never thought my adult life would consist quite so much of eating heavily inflated chocolate and watching and ranting about kids' cartoons, and yet, here we are. Kids' cartoons are kind of killing the game at the moment, and I fucking love it. For the past 2 years of my life, almost every single thing that I've binge watched has been a kids' cartoon. I've watched almost all 10 seasons of Adventure Time. I've watched all 4 seasons of Avatar plus some of Legend of Korra. And more recently, yes, I have finally started watching She-Ra. Most of what I've been watching and reading has been kids' cartoons. And I just wanted to talk today about why I think kids' cartoons are so great and like some of the reasons why I think at the moment, especially in the past 2 years, they've become really recognised as a genre in of itself. So okay, so the first thing that I can think of that is the reason why it's so much fun to watch is the medium in itself. It's animated, it's drawn, which means that you don't have as much of that pressure as a creator when making it when it comes to how much money you have to spend. Take Avatar, for example. Avatar took place across like all 4 nations, across the entire span of Aang's world. You can explore that breadth of area and range of people because it's all animated, and therefore you don't have to build all the sets and location scout for everything. As long as you have an idea in your head, you can draw it. And of course there are still limitations to this. You have to have as many animators as you have in order to draw or animate the different frames, but still it's a lot easier to have that sense of world building with kids' cartoons than you can with typical live action stories. When it takes you across the world, you get to see all the different cultures, all the different places, and because of that you get a sense of the show's themes of diversity, the different types of vendors, why it's so important that everyone has unity, because you care about all 4 of the nations because you've seen them for yourself. One thing that's also really amazed me about kids' cartoons is the quality of writing, and I'm sure this isn't applicable for the entire genre. There is some that are going to be better than others, but I think what makes the writing in shows such as Adventure Time, for example, really amazing is this idea of, because it's made for children, the ideas that you're presenting, complicated or otherwise, have to be done in a really simplistic, easy to understand way. And a lot of the simplicity of that has to do with showing, not telling your audience what you want them to feel. But let's take, for example, the scene where Marceline finds the tape of all of the photos of her and her mum, and she gets BMO to like project them onto the wall, and she realises what they are. Now, as an adult, and even as a kid, you know that Marceline's mum isn't around anymore, and therefore you know that something must have happened to Marceline's mum. And you can see how Marceline is obviously quite upset about this. And then you get Marceline asking BMO if he can tell her a story about the 2 people in the photo, and BMO tells the story about the moon lady and the little girl. You get what that scene is trying to tell you. It's trying to talk to you about grief and loss, and about how the loved ones that we have, that we've lost, aren't ever truly gone, and their love for us still stays even after death. We know that they're trying to talk about that, but the creators haven't specifically gone out and been like, so, you're depressed because your loved one is dead. Here's how we think you should feel about that. And part of that is good writing, and also I think part of it is the format of kids shows in of itself. Most of the kids shows that I've watched have been 20 minutes and under, and therefore you don't have a lot of time to really fully verbalise everything you want your audience to feel. You have to show them a concept, show them an idea, and then let them fill in the gaps for themselves. And a lot of the time, that makes something more meaningful because the audience have imbued their own understanding and filled in the gaps for themselves with their own experiences in order to understand the story. And I think that makes for a much more efficient storytelling because the audience then becomes emotionally attached to the story that's being presented. As well as presenting a lot of really serious and complicated themes, I think kids shows have the advantage of like, they don't have to take themselves that seriously. They can just have fun if they want. You know, She-Ra has ridiculous characters in and is so wonderfully camp. It can still get away with that because some people are like, oh, it's just a cartoon, it's just a kid's show, it doesn't matter. And therefore it can celebrate this kind of effervescent campness and femininity that I think a lot more serious shows in the fantasy genre maybe couldn't do. You can kind of get away with it a little bit more, I think, because people see it as just a kid's cartoon. And because that also makes you laugh as well. The amount of unironic fart jokes that are in Adventure Time, which make me laugh, and I really wish they didn't, because I don't know what that says about me, that they can get away with because it just doesn't matter because it's a cartoon. Along that same vein of getting away with stuff, I don't think it's any surprise that it has been in kids cartoons like Steven Universe and in Adventure Time, where you have some of the forefront examples of gay representation on screen for kids. Marceline and Bubblegum, we wanted them to get together for years, and they finally did. And I don't know whether they would have gotten away with that if it was a live action one. I think live action kisses, when there's like two ladies who are kissing on screen, there's not really much of a grey area there. Like, it happened, it's happening, and sometimes certain board members on certain network boards don't like that. But in Adventure Time, if, say for example, these two women kiss, but one of them was like a vampire who's like thousands and thousands of years old, and like the other one's like an eternal being made of bubblegum, you can kind of get away with this like a little bit more than this, I think. Yeah, I wish it wasn't like that. And finally, I think kids' cartoons are brilliant for the fact that they are made for kids. I think there is definitely a correlation between how stressful my life is and the amount of kids' TV that I want to watch. Adult life is hard. I have to actually function as a human being. Depressing, I know. And because that is depressing, I just want to remember the good times of my life where I didn't have any responsibilities or anxieties whatsoever. And so I watch kids' cartoons because I feel like it puts me back in that nice, happy bubble mind space where it's just, you know, things are going to be okay. At the end of the day, at the end of the episode, I know they're going to be okay because it's a kids' cartoon. Nothing bad's good. Well, some bad things happen, but ultimately you know it's gonna be fine. And that's so nice. It just really puts me in a relaxing mindset, and I think sometimes we need to watch television where you just know that it's gonna be fine in the end. I feel like that's valid. We're all a big kid inside, really, aren't we? Really? I mean, we pay bills now, but it's just the most ultimate pure form of escapism, and I think that's great. Everyone should have that in their life. If you've got any recommendations for me or for each other, please let me know and others know down in the comments. I know I really want to watch Steven Universe next. I want to finish She-Ra. I want to finally watch the last few episodes of Adventure Time because apparently there's going to be films now. I will see you guys soon. Alright, bye!